Manchester City have Hugo Viana in ahead of the transfer window. And one thing that annoys me about City is they seem to pretty much always get their transfer business pretty spot on, or at least compared to my team, Manchester United. They spend their money a lot better. They don't spend 72 million on Rasmus Højlund. They might walk away from Morgan Gibbs-white because it's too expensive. They wouldn't spend 85 million on Anthony. And look, we all know City are probably going to move quite mad this summer. And obviously the Club World Cup is less than 2 weeks away. The transfer window is now open, and Manchester City have decided the 2 signings they want to make ahead of the Club World Cup. They'll also likely make a goalkeeper signing, a fullback signing, another midfield addition after the Club World Cup. But they're looking to get deals done for Cherki and Reijnders before the World Cup. The Club World Cup, and they're going to be 2 excellent signings for Man City. So I'm going to go into detail about Cherki and Reijnders later in today's video and talk about why they're such good signings for Manchester City. But I'm also going to talk about the latest on Gibbs-white, Ait Nouri. There's links to Livramento, there's links to Dani Olmo, and obviously other goalkeepers. Joan Garcia looks Barcelona bound now, but there was links to Diogo Costa, and talk about Manchester City's plan for the summer. What do we know from reliable sources? What is Manchester City's reported summer transfer plan like? And as a Manchester United fan, why am I a little bit worried? Like, Cherki going to City, I think, is a top signing. Reijnders going to City is the perfect for Gundogan replacement. I'm glad I didn't get Wirtz, but then Wirtz going to Liverpool, I think, is somehow worse. City are likely to move mad. And you're thinking, Alice, what do you mean they've decided the next 2 signings? Well, it's very obvious. It's been reported the City are like, we're going to go for Cherki, we're going to go for Reijnders, we're going to get this done next week ahead of the Club World Cup. This is what the reliable Fabrizio Romano had to say. City is set to submit their opening bid for Cherki next week. The plan is to now accelerate for the Frenchman and try and seal the deal for Reijnders in the coming days. So in these next few days, tomorrow, the coming days, Manchester City want to seal the deal for Reijnders and they want to seal the deal for Cherki. A really good number 8, a really good wide inside sort of winger, or number 10, you could call Cherki, very versatile. 2 top signings for Manchester City. 2 players that are technically good. 2 players are very good in that sense. The Mirror also said similar stuff. Man City will complete a 60 million move for Reijnders this week and are also looking to seal a deal for Cherki before the FIFA Club World Cup. Cherki's a player that I'm surprised not more clubs are in for. I mean, I remember watching Lyon. He's just so technically good. He's so insane what he can do with the ball. But Reijnders is one of those players that back in like October time, when I was thinking of who City would need with Gundogan, I think had a quite slow start to the season. I was like Reijnders. I was like, Reijnders seems to be the perfect midfielder for Man City. It was like 3 midfield names in my head. Obviously, last time I would have said João Neves before he went to PSG. I think he would have been in the same few guys. But Reijnders is one of the 3 midfielders I had in my head, but like the likes of João Neves, that I was like, this guy, I feel like, is a Manchester City player. He's a Pep Guardiola player. And it looks like you've decided to get Cherki and Reijnders ahead of the Club World Cup. So I'm going to give you the latest on Cherki, what's going on, what's the hold up. I'm going to give you the latest on Reijnders, and then I want to talk about Gibbs-white and other City transfer links. Manchester City are in advanced talks with Lyon for Ryan Cherki. The deal is expected to be worth over 30 million euros. I think it'll be a 30 million pound deal. And Pep has spoken to Cherki in recent days. City have presented the player with contract terms, project and vision, and both expect the move will progress quickly this week. Personal terms reportedly won't be an issue. Cherki's open to the move, and Manchester City are set to submit a bid this week. They just want to make sure Lyon don't try and make them pay a ridiculous amount or something, or put these add-ons on. Manchester City are negotiating to get the Cherki deal done ahead of the Club World Cup. I think it could be done tomorrow. This is going to go out really late Sunday, so it could be done Monday. It's also been said Manchester City and AC Milan are in active talks for Reijnders. Obviously, again, City clear, very ahead of Reijnders. Personal terms isn't an issue. The deal was very close to being done. It's only the fee left to finalise. City just making sure that they don't get mugged off or have to overpay. Negotiations are progressing quickly, with City aiming to seal the move for Reijnders in the coming days. So Romano, who is one of the most reliable outlets when it comes to transfer news, along with David Ornstein, has said the City are essentially looking to get the Reijnders deal and the Cherki deal in the coming days. There's talks ongoing. It's about putting in the bid, submitting a fee. A bid is expected soon ahead of the Club World Cup. Other sources have also confirmed interest in Reijnders and Cherki by Man City. They've been linked to Reijnders for like 3 weeks now. I think since they knew they were missing out on Wirtz, they've been linked to Cherki a lot more. But one player we know that City do have interest in is Morgan Gibbs-white, and Romano again confirmed that City like Morgan Gibbs-white. But apparently right now, Morgan Gibbs-white is on the shortlist, But according to Fabrizio Romano, his sin is too expensive. Morgan Gibbs-white is a good player, but I think sometimes English players, they get a little bit overpriced, overrated. Like Manchester United wanted Braithwaite last summer, but we were just kind of priced out of that. And Romano was saying that City really like Gibbs-white. They've been linked to him strongly. And I think it would be a good signing. He's nowhere near as good as Wirtz, but I think it is a good signing for City. But you have to look at it for the right price. Would you want to be spending 80 million on Morgan Gibbs-white? That's a very Man United move. He's not an 80 million pound player. I don't know if that's what Forest are asking for, but they will ask for a fair bit. Forest are going to capitalise off the fact they had a very good season, and Man City, need someone on Gibbs-white. But interestingly, Romano did say that Manchester City have now asked for conditions of a deal for Rayan Ait Nouri, and the 23-year-old is high on the list for the left-back positions, and contacts are expected to continue. Now, I will be really upset if Manchester City do end up getting Ait Nouri. I am a huge fan of Ait Nouri. I want him at Man United. I think he's perfect for the system. He already works well with Cunha. But Romano has said that, look, City have now asked for the conditions of Ait Nouri. He's on the list. Obviously, right now, I believe the City is Cherki, Reijnders, get it done before the Club World Cup. I think as the Club World Cup is ongoing later in the window, I think they will go for Ait Nouri. I think they could go for Morgan Gibbs-white and see if Forest lower the price. They could look at Morgan Gibbs-white's alternatives. They have been linked to Dani Olmo and see what happens. But interestingly as well, it's not the only fullback City are looking at. I think Livramento. Now, I don't think Livramento is going anywhere. I think Livramento is going to stay at Newcastle. And I think the only starter for Newcastle I think could potentially go is Anthony Gordon. I think Isak isn't going anywhere. I think Guimaraes isn't going anywhere. Tonali's obviously not going anywhere. I don't think Livramento or Lewis Hall are going anywhere despite links. The only player I think Newcastle could have an issue keeping is maybe Anthony Gordon, because he did express a bit of interest in Liverpool last summer. But Romano again said that Livramento is on the list in regards to right back for Manchester City this summer. But Scott Wilson of the Echo did confirm City have interest in Livramento, but it has been immediately rejected. The view is that the 22-year-old is crucial for Eddie Howe's plans. I mean, Trippier is very old. They don't have a lot of depth at fullback. City have got no intention of selling him, and that is very City. I say City. Newcastle have no intention of selling him, which is fair. I think City want two fullbacks. I think realistically they'll probably get one in Ait Nouri. If I was going to guess, Ait Nouri is a lot more realistic. But it looks like City want Livramento. They want Ait Nouri. They want potentially a goalkeeper. They want another player on top of Reijnders and Cherki to help replace De Bruyne. So it'll be interesting to see how that advances. But they've got a lot of interest. Sacha Tavelli did say that now Florian Wirtz won't happen. Hugo Viana and his team are looking at Dani Olmo. But that hasn't really been reported by anybody else. There has been reports from Italy that they have an interest in Atalanta of Edison, which I think he would improve the physical flooring of the City squad, and I think that's something you struggle with when Rodri's gone. But I think technically he's not a pet player. But then if he was in a midfield with Reijnders and with Wirtz, and you're not going to get Wirtz now, it would work quite well. But maybe there's something to watch for Atalanta's Edison, but I'm not sure if City would be in for him. But Man City want to sign a goalkeeper, they want to sign a fullback, they want Reijnders, they want Cherki, and they do want another player that's going to replace Kevin De Bruyne this summer. So we're looking at City making 5-6 signings this summer. Some reports even suggest they are looking firmly at Porto's Diogo Costa as their main goalkeeping target. A very good player. I think he's a little bit overpriced, but he's a good player. I wouldn't be surprised if you were looking at Lucas Chevalier as well. I know you haven't really been linked to him a lot, but I do think that he is a very good goalkeeper that I think very much suits Pep Guardiola. I just look at his stats, look at his numbers when I've watched him play this season for Lille. He's been insane. So I wouldn't be surprised if City tried something like that. But you're obviously looking at a goalkeeper. Garcia is set to go to Barcelona as far as I'm aware, which is a controversial move because Barcelona and Espanyol are actually rivals. In terms of fullbacks, Ait Nouri and Livramento have been linked. You've also been linked to Kerkez, but I believe he's a good person in terms of Liverpool and has chosen Liverpool over City, which is quite mad. But I think Liverpool winning the league has clearly been a big thing because Wirtz and Kerkez seem to favour Liverpool over City. I know they said City pulled out of Wirtz because of the price, but I feel like there might be more to it. Reijnders obviously looks like he's going to be the first signing. Cherki looks like he'll be the second signing. But it is clear that City want another attacking player on top of that. So City want a lot of signings. So even though they've decided Cherki and Reijnders will be their first two summer signings before the Club World Cup, they've still got a lot of plans. So I want to talk about Cherki, and then I want to talk about Reijnders and why this could be a good signing for Man City. So first of all, with De Bruyne going, and I don't think Cherki will be the De Bruyne replacement, but I think he's going to be a player to come into to almost be a long-term Bernardo Silva replacement almost. He got 20 assists this season. And Ligue 1 is a good league. I will tell you this now, because Ligue 1 is called the Farmers League, but I think players from Ligue 1 do better in the Premier League than players from the Serie A and La Liga. Statistically, I do. I always think Ligue 1 is a good league to look at. Like, Prem Proven is what you want, but if not, I like a bit of Ligue 1. I'm not going to lie. He was very good against Manchester United, but we did make everyone look good in a lot of our games. 8 goals, 11 assists. In the Europa League, 4 goals, 8 assists. 20 assists this season, 12 goals in 3,000 minutes. He averages nearly a goal contribution a game at age 21. I always forget how young Cherki is because I feel like he's been around a while. I think he made his debut at like 16. He will be 22 at the start of next season, born on August 17th. But what Cherki brings is just so much. He's already technically good, one of the best playmakers in Europe. It's the technical ability, the small space ability, but he's got the ball control, the flair, the tight space, what Pep would want. He's very comfortable out wide, could play as a false 9, could play as a 10. He's not a touchline winger, he's not about pace, he's not about work rate, but he's someone in the half spaces, in the small spaces, as an inverted winger, as a number 10 that could roam. If you give him a bit of license, you give him a bit of freedom, if Pep can make some adaptations, I think his technical ability would suit City's system well with the players around him and the runners around him. I think he's got that vision. He's got that final ball to do really well at Man City. The only question would be maybe work rate. What I like about Cherki as well is I feel like he's got that Mahrez-esque ability to shift defenders, glide through the pressure. His left foot is unbelievable. The way he can thread balls and curl in a finish. I think he is the long-term replacement for Bernardo Silva. Helps with the creativity of De Bruyne with him leading. You can slow up a game, you can slow down a game, you can speed up a game. I think he's very good in terms of setting a tempo, which Pep likes in the final third. The only question is work rate. That is the only question. And obviously, how much of a free roll is Pep going to give him? Because he does like a bit of a free roll. Now, if we talk about Reijnders, who is, if you actually statistically looked for the like-for-like Gundogan replacement on Data MB, Reijnders is literally the perfect one on underlying data as well. But if you've watched Reijnders, you know that he's a really good press-resistant number 8. When it comes to spatial awareness, passing, resisting the press, getting the ball, breaking the lines, very comfortable player. He can get the ball on the presser, turn quickly, progress play. This is exactly what my team, Manchester United, are crying out for a midfielder. Guy is a destroyer, but he's so frustrating on the ball. Whereas you've got someone with Rodri, with potentially a new number 10, going in that midfield. And City's midfield is what I think cost them a lot this season. I know defensively you conceded a bit, but Rodri went. I think Gundogan and Kovacic don't always have the legs, but they did have a good second half of the season, particularly Gundogan in the run-in. Where I think City having Reijnders coming in and Rodri back and the number 10 and the legs and the balance, I think that's going to lift City up. I think their midfield was so key. And with Reijnders being that box-to-box, he can get more advanced, he can offer a bit of control and drive, he can carry the ball, he can make the legs box runs, he can contribute quite a bit to creativity going forward, breaking down low blocks. He is a good Gundogan replacement, especially with the depth the City are going to need in midfield. It's just him, his delayed runs into the box, his movement, his technical quality. He brings a lot of what Gundogan has, but he's got the legs that I feel that Gundogan has lost. And that's why I think it's a good signing for City, because it's creativity, it's vertical sharpness, it's being able to break teams down, receive the ball, drop deep if needed, have the legs. I think he's one of the best all-round midfielders in Europe. So I think City, sadly, are working on something big, and I think they will be back next season. City fans, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. Bye.